Good. So welcome back to the Starships Enterprise, Adam. We got a lot of feedback from the last two-part episode that we did about demonology and exorcisms and all of the darker aspects of things. But I did, while I have you back, and I did promise one of our listeners who was really into it, they did want me to ask you. It's John, one of our guys out in New Jersey, who is sending me a Doctor Strange pop. He wanted me to ask you, since you beat your case, why isn't the state giving you anything for whatever was not given back as far as money? And where did you work in Arizona? I did hear you mention something about some type of supervision. Did you take it to trial and found not guilty? So if you care to expound upon that for John in New Jersey, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So to be very transparent and clear with everyone, my case, as we're moving forward here, the reason I'm on supervised probation is because I actually took a plea to a class 6 undesignated felony. Wow. And that plea and that choice was done not only by myself, but I'm a council of advisors from South Central North America, because of the extent of the crimes 10 times greater than I ever committed, that the state Homeland Security has to make me disappear within inside the system. We saw that through the sacred fires, through that. And it was, so we prayed on this. We did many ceremonies for over a month, divination, that it was very hard because I grew up as a trooper. It's about wisdom and knowledge. And it was about listening to the dream and the insight. We had ceremonies and guided sacred ceremonies through the central fires that showed us this. So they were ready, and they were ready to basically bring in corrupt information, which did happen. They were having a Schedule 1 drug that they call cocaine and crystal methane, and this was not true. This was not the case, and we felt that, we knew that from the inside, which was probable cause to let them say, here's a Native American church, here's a man that's doing this. But on the other hand, he's got inside of his operations and with his sacraments religiously and federally protected, we found cocaine, and we foresaw that, and it came out in the end. For those that are listening, it came out in the end through evidence that arose. And so that's why I decided to make the choice and to navigate through that and accept that, because a lot of good innocent people, they'll stand and go through trial, go through all that, and still be convicted by the local juries. That we don't have to get into that story. That would just override that if they could show what I call false flag or false information that they would attest that they pulled from their field tests and lab tests. And we did find that out. So for those that are listening too, when we got back December 21st, we found, and we also acquired all the lab tests and all the reports from Partners Against Narcotic Trafficking and the local Yavapai Sheriff's Department, along with the state and district attorney office. We pulled all that evidence out of the hands of them and found that to be true of what, even stating that, and which was, yeah, we know where we stand, we know what we had. And so that was, so basically at this point right now, for those that are listening, when I did that, I agreed to a 3-year supervised probation. And I had already moved to California. So in the state of California, class 6 undesignated felony or misdemeanor does not acquire supervised probation. So it's really a logistical and a massive hiccup between the state of Arizona and California why I'm even on a 3-year supervised probation. To the state too, they'd rather employ me than destroy me. Like that, the probation, I've been negotiating with probation officers in the local and Mendocino County to actually work with these sacred sacraments and these medicines and the way of life that I live to actually help assist and turn the ship around from the drug problem, from the sexual abuse problem, from the problems, mental health problems here in the community. So it literally, I was utilized also once again to literally go directly inside of the system so that I can also make a change on many levels with inside of the system. And so that's what's going on right now. And we're going to be going back into court here very soon and getting the Class 6 undesignated felony dropped. Actually, we helped change the law. The lawyer that I was working with, criminal lawyer, we helped change the Class 6 undesignated felony as of January 2023, this year, just a few weeks ago, has now dropped to a misdemeanor. My lawyer has actually gone into the state and helped negotiate off.
All right.
Yes. So the Class 6 undesignated felony as of January 2023 has now dropped to a misdemeanor. So basically, I go back into court as soon as we can get the resources to rehire the lawyer that has already been on the case. She's willing to take it. We get the monies that are needed to do that, and we get that misdemeanor. You know, I think it's called a deferred judgment or dropped and erased off the record. So that's where we stand, and that's the process I'm in now. And I was told through prayer and guidance that should be able to be taken care of by this spring or sooner. We just need to get in there and file this ASAP. And
so to summate, and so that I can understand, the listeners can understand, essentially, whenever the state did come against you because of the stigma of plant-based medicine, and in the area that we all work in with that in our different aspects, the hardest part is removing the stigma and going, these aren't drugs, these are plant-based medicines, and they're protected by the First Amendment and a whole lot of other things. In prayer and meditation with elders and other people like you and ourselves, the path of least resistance was to take the plea deal to get out of harm's way, and
yeah,
and that worked out. Now, me and you had a lot of discussions about that during the ordeal, and it's like, do you, don't you? But what's the path of least resistance for the great work? And
correct. Yeah,
and now we're at a point which we talked about last time where you got all of your medicine back. Now you're in a
correct.
really good space. However, we can't answer all of John's questions if they're, in for future litigation that may occur. But where you're at right now, and we feel incumbent to help you, is to rebuild what you had established prior to the ignorance of the state of Arizona, to rebuild it. Okay. Now,
Exactly.
of course,
So
all the links will be in the Christ box below for the listeners, but please tell people how they can assist you, how much you need to raise, where they can find the avenues in which to help you rebuild.
yeah, so again, we really give thanks. I really want to give thanks to you specifically, here, and your organization, and all the efforts and all the people that you've also brought in to support us monetarily. And then the Most High is through your prayers and your ceremonies that you did. So that's where we made a difference.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I do what I can, in my weird space cult. Anywho, do we still got you, Adam? All right, he's frozen like a bad comic book villain. The internet keeps freezing our guest.
Like that sweater he's got on.
Yes. Yeah, we
Okay.
have individuals that have made personal donations, not through the GoFundMe, like through PayPal or Venmo and things of that nature, emailed us individually. When I say us, it's basically the International Center of Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom. So I have that center that I was building, along with ONAC of Ixal, which represents Oklahoma Native American Church of the International Center for Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom. And that campaign, we had it $250,000 because at that time we were going to go to trial, take it all the way. We're about to update the GoFundMe and update my information along with these videos that we'll be sharing here with a new budget or a plan, not only to pay the lawyers, but to build the foundation back. So it's not only are we working on the court systems, but we're also want to reestablish basically the foundation all the way to my home. So home/church was taken away. Business was taken away. Commerce,
Wow.
all my documents, all my papers, my family revenue for all the life's work, and over $100,000 infrastructure in the business was basically deleted by a decision made by the local
Wow.
state attorneys. And that's just on that project. That's how quick they did it. So the new budget, I believe the council's talking about to bring that down to about 120, and to assist also in the deliverance of the information. So the resources and the monetary contributions, along with the spiritual affirmations and all of your prayers, every dollar and every cent will be utilized to create a foundation and a pillars with these different organizations so that this doesn't happen again to any individual in the future. So we've been tracking the whole process all the way through. We've been documenting paper-wise, photo-wise, video-wise, and ceremonial-wise to do that. So the resources and contributions will be utilized to build that in platforms so that we can help others in the future, individually and organizations. I had a meeting earlier today about, what were you doing, Adam? What was one of the main things with your plant medicines? And that was cultivation and preservation of the plant medicines, specifically peyote, especially in Arizona, which was a legal thing to be doing. And I had been doing that again for the listeners. I had been working over 22 years, dedicated my life for the preservation and cultivation of these sacraments. They had destroyed 22 years of
Wow.
cultivation and preservation. They destroyed the medicine. Now, one thing that they did do that was good is they preserved it in a -4 temperature, which left it frozen, just like in Star Wars movie or something. Now, they put them in the freezer.
They put it in carbonite.
Yeah, froze the medicine so it could be reutilized. And they did give back all the sacraments. For those that are listening, they did give them all back, which can be worked and utilized in our religious ceremonies. So, but planting and starting over from seed, yeah, we have to do that. We have to build the infrastructure. We have to utilize the funding that's coming in now to rebuild 22 years of infrastructure that was basically destroyed all the way from greenhouses. Just the new infrastructure in 2021 we had built was over $100,000 from donors and supporters over the years to create the systems to be able to bring this medicine to the people.
Right.
So we want to rebuild that and work together with others in alliance to do so.
And I don't want people who listen or subscribe to us to kind of breeze by it because, there are a lot of people who put GoFundMe campaigns out there, and we will listen to a good podcast and listen to a cause, and we'll think, yeah, that's a good cause, but sometimes rarely do people actually contribute. But for your mission, I want people to really look, go without a soda for a day and donate what you can, because in this work specifically, and we're going to get into why this work is so important as we progress through this, but when you have somebody like Adam and people who are connected to him through a myriad of organizations that are literally putting their necks on the line
Right.
to defend your right for you, then at the very least you can donate $1 or $2 that you would buy a soda with, because every penny really does count. And it's like, look, everybody in the country uses cannabis. It's stupid for, we're just talking about one plant, cannabis. Everybody uses it. Everybody really needs it in their body. And it's like, how many times do you listen to apathetic people say, well, when the laws change, but they're not willing to do anything to change the law or
Right.
the status quo. And it's like, here's Adam who is standing up for an entire nation. The least that somebody listening could do is hit a donate button, and then
Right.
check. And it's like, for everyone who did hit like, because we got a lot of good feedback from the last episode, which we're about
We
to talk about.
did. You were popular, Adam.
And it
Well,
was,
I want you to know we have I have a very large following from around the world, and my work is always about building alliances like with both of you here this evening and other groups, and we do have for those that want to make larger donations. We have ways and organizations, a federal ID, or we could use if there's an organization out there that could be a co-op, not for profit, that could help bring money in, we're open to that. Also, joining the team here and such. So, feel a part of this. I'm not alone in this. We're all doing this together. And it just happened to be me that this happened to. And my elders say this was a good thing. As soon as I called them up, they said, okay, now you know what our ancestors have been doing for thousands of years. And they said, now you have the opportunity. You will be the voice and the interpreter for the medicine. So now you can speak on behalf of the protection and safety and preservation for these plant medicines. And I didn't realize it in the time of all these years of training and the work that one day this would happen. But now I understand that the plant medicines are asking me, I'm getting chills, full body chills right now, asking me to be an advocate and continue this work,
Right. Well, our job is to help your voice get much, much louder.
This goodness has been brought to you by zenandthecar.com, powered by CannaSense. CannaSense Total Wellness provides Americans in all 50 states with lawful, organic, lab-tested medical cannabis and therapeutic psilocybin to its members. Membership to join our collective is as simple as filling out a sponsorship form at CannaSense.com, uploading a photo ID showing 21 and up, and putting Zen in the Car as your sponsor. Once your sponsorship form is approved, members will have instant access to our apothecary to view and order from our menu filled with flower, edibles, vapes, topicals, supplements, and a myriad of other intake methods best suited to your needs on the path of recovery and wellness. The mission of CannaSense Total Wellness is to assist all Americans in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness through our God-given right to plant-based medicine. They provide discreet shipping nationwide, typically within 3 business days on most orders. Links to their sponsorship form are in the Christ boxes on whichever platform you found us. Or just make it easier on yourself and scan the QR code thingy on your screen now. Obtaining your clean, lab-tested medicine doesn't have to be complicated because CannaSense is common sense. Join Team Zen in the Car on the journey throughout the Uberverse with the right vibe. And don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe it to all our super neato internet doohickeys. Zen in the Car. It good for you.